It's Miss Fashionista, the lovely Ellie Sophia Rossetti. How are you today? Wow, nice to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. As you know, I've been injured, but we're recovering. I've been feeling a hell of a lot better in the last several days, and I'm just super excited to be with you today to discuss the all-important case, the wild, crazy, insane case of the Idaho 4. But before we get into the weeds of it, Ellie, if you'll allow me, well, it's my channel, but I'm sure you'll allow me.
It's your channel. You...
Thank you. No, I just want to tell the audience, for those that are new to the channel especially, and again, hello, Phoenix Rising 214. People new to the channel, I want to describe what my channel is about. So, first of all, put on your house coat, of course. Grab a hot cup of Java or hot cup of cocoa, your favorite beverage, favorite drink. Maybe it's a hot tequila, I don't know. Put on your pair of slippers, sit by the fire, join me for another story. Because this channel, of course, we challenge the narrative. And we expose the lies, especially when I have an amazing guest like Ellie in our previous videos. I believe we expose a lot of the lies in the Idaho 4. And, you know, we... what was the other term I wanted to say? There's a whole bunch of them. Oh,
I don't even know if I call it lies. I call it deception.
Deception. Thank you. We destroy the deception.
Yes.
And, you know, facts don't have feelings, right? And we on this show, I know one thing. We refuse to go by scripts. We don't follow storylines. And Ellie and I believe our goal is to shine a spotlight on areas that people are afraid to look at. And I think hopefully a lot of you in the chat page, people live, and when this video gets posted, will agree with that. And, of course, Ellie and I, we don't follow the crowd. We cross-examine them. And we offer our opinions, thoughts, and perspectives. We will give you, at times, titillating, tantalizing speculation, as I like to say. And finally, if you also enjoy, of course, and appreciate hard critical thinking, hard truth, that's what we're about too. And if you want a stupendous, riveting true crime channel and entertainment, I think you're in the right home, the right place. Phoenix Rising, I think she agrees. I hope so. She says, well, I found out that hard way. Yes. Well, Phoenix Rising, you're very patient, very thoughtful. I really appreciate everything you do. I know a little bit, quite a bit about Phoenix Rising. She's going to be on social media, hopefully releasing a new channel very soon. So without further ado, Ellie, let's get into it. Should we get into the bloody photos, almost 3,000 released by the Global Mail? And then, of course, you know, this was done by, apparently leaked by Moscow, Idaho, 4 years after the fact. Should we get into it and your thoughts on what the hell's been going on with these photos?
Yeah, I mean, it's don't people find it just a bit suspicious? Like, why are these photos so top secret? They had to be shown during the trial if there was going to be a trial, and or the prelim. They had to, you know, like what's the big secret? They've had over almost 3 years to doctor up some pictures to go along with the narrative that they had pushed, which thought that video we showed on the last interview we did together of the cops going in to clear the house, and bam, nothing. There was no blood anywhere. There was supposed to be so much blood in there, it was leaking down the frickin' wall on the outside of the house. Yes. Which I still don't think it was blood, because that would have been about 8 to 10 hours after the fact. So that blood would not be red anymore. It would be a dark maroon color or a black color. Right. So
yes, and Ellie, excuse me, to your point real quick, even DA, who I've been on his show, as you know, he even admitted, even though his narrative is the atrocity took place, he admitted that blood, he had to admit to me. He said, yeah, it didn't, it shouldn't have looked red, is basically what he said. So what the hell's going on? Exactly.
I mean, the one, I think it was the one, they were talking about the one phone call that the person just walked into the house exactly where the cops went in, and there was like dead bodies everywhere. Okay, so no, they were all found in bedrooms now. It's evidence is all changing as they go. There was no blood on the first floor. There was no blood on the handrails, like these bloody handprints they were talking about. They showed pictures of them. Where were they when the cops went in to clear the house? That was not a reenactment, folks. That was actual police video from their body cams of them going in and clearing the house. Now, if something allegedly happened, it had happened in the bedrooms. And why wasn't that said in the court case to begin with? The whole time the court case was going on, that whole house was a bloody mess. There was blood everywhere. Yet both phone calls to 911 from two different people, no mention of blood. Just these people won't wake up. They won't respond. Not, oh my God, they're dead. There's blood everywhere. That's what it would be. And it would smell so bad of blood, you couldn't not talk about the blood.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
Like your little baby said in that thing, right?
Yes, exactly. And the interviews, Ellie, remember when they were interviewed in front of the house? Dylan is, I believe, talking a lot. I don't know.
No mention of blood.
No mention of blood. Hunter, and he comes out of the house and he's supposed to be, with blood around Xana. And as I said in my interviews with you, and another creator said it, he was supposed to have taken her pulse. And yet he comes out with no blood. Blood would be on his shoes, his hands at the very least. Even another creator said this. Yeah, and the creator who brought this up, I won't even mention his name, he still follows the narrative that an atrocity took place, and yet he's counteracting. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's saying the opposite when he's telling you there'd be blood on Hunter, and there was no blood on Hunter. So that tells you, in our view, Ellie and I are telling you that this was a staged violent event. And we're going to get into more of that in this interview, I hope. A staged crime scene, in other words, in our opinions, folks. And I mean, we got Phoenix Rising. I respect a lot of what she says in her work, of course, but she says there's a photo of the bodies being removed and so much more. Well, Phoenix, I would love to see that photo.
I'd love to see the body.
Yeah,
you can put anything underneath a sheet and cart it out of the house. So, I mean, I would like to see not that I'm gruesome, not that I'm morbid, but, if you're going to say that these bodies were, why isn't the blood soaking through the sheets? There's just so much faff about this whole, which is fake as fuck, about this whole case. It just drives me nuts that anyone buys into this crap. And I know why the creators are, because they're going in line to get the money. They want that money, incoming money, and the clicks and the likes. So they go with the narrative because everyone seems to want to believe the narrative. It's so much more romantic to believe these kids got slaughtered instead of them hanging out on a beach in New Zealand somewhere, maybe at Valhalla. Who knows, right?
Yeah, and this is why, Ellie, I like the fact that we truly believe that the students are alive. Just to your point, and Bertie brought it up too. People who think that it's horrible to talk about and that you're disrespecting the victims to say that they're in witness protection, when Bertie added, Ellie, and what we already know, right? That witness protection is to protect people that are wanted dead, and that, we, as I say, there's infrastructure all over, programs for this. And then Bertie said, right, there's programs for this. And so they're protected and they're elsewhere. That's basically what Bertie said in so many words. And that's exactly right. This is all positive, folks. You don't have to talk about, go with the lies, nor should we, and be hoodwinked anymore, in my opinion,
And the funny thing is here, Phoenix Rising says that there was a photo of the bodies being removed. From what I heard, they were all like blocked out. Like you couldn't see who they were taking out. Those could have been anybody. Those could have been the kids laying down with fake blood on them for the pictures. I mean, if you're going to do an extraction, you have to think of all these things. Don't think the FBI and or the whoever did it, the DOJ or whoever, would think of all that stuff. Of course, you're going to have to do it's like when you're doing a fake hit. You make the person look like they're dead. You take a picture. You send it to the guy who put the hit out. So he thinks they're dead. It's all optics. And the fact that they blocked them out, why?
Exactly.
Why do you have to block them out?
Right. And why?
Things before. We can handle it.
That's right. We can handle it. You almost sound like Jack Nicholson for a moment. We can handle it. No, I'm just kidding. But I I won't say Nancy Grace, that's for damn sure, because you're not a big fan of Nancy Grace.
No, she's a dipshit.
Exactly. No, everything you were saying pretty much, Ellie, I was thinking of. And there was something else I wanted to add, which was, I forget now. But that they had all this time to do, as you said, actual photographs because they're staging a violent event.
Well, they would have did those right off. The photographs would have been done right off the bat. Because to do it later, it's too much hassle. So they would say, okay, lay down. They squirt blood on them. We'll cover up whatever, and there you go. I want to see if any pictures had no blocking out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be at least to see it.
And then how do you know that they were dead? They could just pretend they were dead. I mean, it's so cool. And why were they top secret? Why couldn't they be released years ago?
Yeah, they
should have. Wouldn't it have added more validity to the case if they had shown pictures? The fact that they've done things the way they've done things makes it look fast. Yes. Totally fast. And I'm so fed up with everyone just automatically buying into this without even looking at the common sense of what me and Jason and I have been talking about all this time. Yep. We're not just conspiracy theorists who, want to think something's wrong with everything. Well, Jason is, but I'm not. I can look at things. When he first told me about this case, I laughed simply because he's the one who's always going, yeah, that person's controlled opposition and Tucker fucker this and this person that and Candace Owens is CIA and all this crap. So I laughed as soon as he told me about this case. And then I started looking into it and I went, damn, he's right. This stinks to high heaven, right? And I hadn't even got the real juicy crap yet. And I already said, Jason, this is all fucked up. You're right. Right? I had to admit that I was wrong on that one. Like, because I chuckled when he first told me about this case. I went, yeah, sure, right?
See, Ellie and I was hoodwinked too at the beginning, and then I was researching more than Ellie was at that time. Ellie was busy doing other things. Her life is even busier than me, and then she got on board as to what I was trying to describe to her and what's going on with the Idaho 4. She connected the dots on her own, and she realized, as she said, that it looks like I'm right. Those students are alive. This is a staged violent event. So Ellie could admit that she was being hoodwinked. And that's a very difficult thing for the average person to admit, right?
In my opinion. In my
opinion too, it's difficult. I felt the difficulty, natural human nature, to admit, wait, was I hoodwinked? Can I admit that to myself, that I've been lied to, and going along with the narrative? But folks, a lot of people I see online, the good news is there are people admitting, Ellie, that, they believe one thing at the beginning of the case and now they believe something else based on not just garble from other people, but doing their own research and maybe combine it with listening, to certain other creators. But again, I'd like to collaborate, as you know, with others, Ellie, and I know you feel the same way. If they want to come on my show, either one-on-one interview or preferably with Ellie and I, that'd be awesome too. And we could bounce our ideas off one another. The question is, will these creators, do they have the courage to do that? Because I'm inviting them. And some of them are going to see this video, even though I'm not a big channel yet. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers with your help, folks, apparently the algorithms help to take off. So please subscribe. You know what to do, my friends. Again, hit that bell icon to be notified for future videos. Give me a like if you enjoy my videos. Feel free to leave us a comment. Yes. And again, I'm loving that Ellie's here. By the way, USC code 31 that I've said many, many times, as you know, Ellie, and you've mentioned it.
Yeah.
A lot of these creators are, as you know, it seems like they're afraid to bring it up. They know about it. And that's very significant because it goes to our point, our theory, Ellie, that, and many people who have talked about this, USC code 31 it allows the feds to stage a violent event. So the people that, again, that have subscribed to our theory, many do, and many don't, but many understand this was an extraction, not creators, but people online. They need to know, and others, about USC code 31. It allows them to stage a violent event. All these creators should talk about that, in my opinion. And then US code 3521, as I've said before, Ellie, and I said this on DA show. Basically, it's standard. It's not standard justice. It operates outside the normal judicial framework, and we saw that play out, as Ellie so eloquently describes, the show hearings that we saw with Brian Kohlberger and the judge and everything else, and destroying the house, right, and creating the 3D printed house. Folks, that would be U.S. Code 352, Whitsick law. They can do anything. This wasn't real because it's got to be a staged violent event, in my opinion.
Well, like I said, I'm just looking at what was presented, what was missing, and what they're trying to claim. And there's just so many things that point away from what they're trying to claim.
Yes.
That it's just this foolishness.
But here's why they released this, Ellie, because they're trying to, again, I believe, hoodwink us. This is a real video, and I don't know if you saw it yet. DA released it on his show. A few other creators have released it. Phoenix says, and thank you, Phoenix, for the wonderful comments. A CI died under their nose. There's a video of the cops talking about it. So what she's referring to, Ellie, if you didn't see it, and to all the audience out there, a cop was being interviewed apparently by the chief of police, and the chief had him on body cam, wasn't an interview. And the cop said, sort of whisper in a soft voice, something like, did a CI get killed or die? Something to that effect. Now, there could be reasons for that. I speculated that the cop, either he didn't go in the house, and he may not have, right? So he's being fed that, oh, well, he knew a confidential, most of the cops, probably in Moscow, Idaho, or some of them knew a confidential informant was in the house. That's not too hard to know that, and from your other cop friends. And if he didn't go in the house, then the cop is being told and believing that, yes, a CI died because they're staging a violent event. So to me, that means nothing, although it's interesting on that video. I saw it. I heard it, you know.
If he doesn't need to know, he won't know. He'll just be told they're dead.
Exactly. Exactly. And isn't that wonderful to get that on body cam for them?
And the media know they have to push whatever they're told by whatever agency handles this. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about a comment from Phoenix Rising saying you can't collaborate with a closed mind. Now, I don't know if she's talking about us. I myself have said, if anyone can prove to me I'm wrong, I would admit I was wrong, and I would follow the narrative. But no one has been able to or willing to come forward and do such a thing. Actually, you had one person come on with us, and the three of us, we differed in opinions.
Yes.
We differed in opinion from him, but we had a great show, I felt.
Yes.
And
that was PA,
yeah, exactly. It's not that we can't be reasoned with. There's just no one who can come up with any form of evidence to knock down what we're saying. And that's what I find even more crazy is the fact that all these creators are laughed at you and me probably this whole time for believing what we believe, but in their heart they know they can't smash it.
That's right. They can't smash it.
Come on and do it.
That's right.
I don't think Panzerotti would, but the other ones would.
That's right. That's right. And I give Bertie credit at times. He'll go into other theories and he'll almost sounds like he's going along with that a crime took place because that's what we're being fed. And yet there are times when Bertie, I believe he tells you the truth of what he really thinks. One of them, I told you before, Ellie, I caught him when he said in a video, he said in front, I think he had a guest on too, but anyway, he said, I'm leaning more to the Whitsick angle, the federal witness security program, witness protection, in other words, right? And then he said, that's what I'm defining as Whitsick, right? Because that's what it is, right? But and he said things like he took my phone calls, and he said Jason. He came on Devil's Advocate show. He said Jason made a lot of good points, DA, and then he described basically leaning towards because I was talking about blood. Where's all the blood? And they got blood marks here and there at the time with these photos, and I was saying, so what? I was trying to infer, like what you said, Ellie, and you described it way better than I did, why they could easily do these photos, right? And they've just released it. And I think they released it, Ellie, because our message is getting out, even though I'm a smaller channel, but still thousands of people are listening. Then I get on a fairly big show. DA's doing great work at times with him and his guests. I really enjoyed being on the show. I've been injured, so that's the main reason I got out of the show. Hopefully I'll be back on maybe once a week or something. Anyway, I got my message out to thousands and thousands more people about the extraction removal operation, to the point where DA wanted to shut it down. He doesn't want me to apparently talk about the extraction. That this was a staged violent event, folks.
It's his show, and it might hurt his algorithm if you do. That's the only thing I'm thinking is moving, right? But I mean, I don't know, guys. It's hard to buy into any of this stuff, like the way it's been presented, right? If it had been straight up, pictures released, autopsy pictures, photos, or the autopsies themselves showing everything, it would have been a whole different story. It would have had a lot more credibility. But as it stands, they've been secretive this whole time, and then they just do a big photo dump. Big
photo dump. Bullshit.
Why dump them now if they weren't willing to dump them when it mattered?
Well, like I said,
Mike, that gentleman, that birdie you were talking about, he was the gentleman that asked AI to go outside the box, and the AI came back with your exact theory, Jason. Exactly. Maybe tweaked a little bit here and there, saying that maybe 2 of them died and 2 of them didn't, or whatever.
Yes.
But again, where's all the blood?
Exactly. Where's all the blood? And the blood that was released, of course, Ellie, they apparently, and again, I can't show the photos on this live. Maybe one day I will, or actually on a video. If Ellie, agrees to edit, we could do some photos showing some blood photos, because one of them, they have to try to sell it, even though, as you say, it's so faff, Ellie, in our eyes, that they have a couch upset. And on, I think it was ABC News, they're describing, briefly, they show that they said a couch was upset and a mattress, apparently it shows at some point. And so they said there was a struggle, a violent struggle. Folks, in our view, it's just this highly emotionally charged narrative. The feds did the right thing. The U.S. Marshals, in their view, they did the right thing. They staged a violent event to protect, most likely, a confidential informant, folks, from potentially being killed, and maybe other students as well in that house. And they extract them. They got them the hell out of there, we believe, folks. This is all great news. And this is what the U.S. Marshals do. Sorry?
Why were the ones left behind alive?
Well, I haven't figured that out. I don't know. What thoughts
how
do you
did
have
they not hear all this violent struggle going on when they were only on their bloody phones? It's not like they were having a party with a stereo going or something, or they were sound asleep and they sleep soundly. No, they were on their phones the whole time. They didn't hear any noise at all. I think you would hear a noise of couches flipping and beds flipping over. Come on, people.
Exactly. Now, Phoenix says, Ellie, excuse me, she says, Xana's dead body shows all the stab wounds and part of her face. And if that's true, thank you, Phoenix, for bringing that up. And we'll hopefully see that photo someday. Either maybe somebody can send it to me. And Ellie will look for it. And if that's true, interesting. But again, Ellie and I would be convinced that, hey, that's still partly they're staging the violent. They got to stage it, folks. They're taking photos.
Sister,
what do you do? Yeah.
Who I told you about lives here,
yes.
Did that kind of makeup. She was doing war reels and shit with fake wounds and stuff. She can literally make it look like your hand got cut off and you're splurting blood everywhere.
Wow.
She's done it all. So those kind of wounds are easy to fake. Very easy. A bit of ketchup and some, whatever that she uses. But
cool. So
no, that's off. In my eyes, why would they show that now? Why wouldn't they have showed that when it mattered?
Exactly.
Well, instead of letting the whole community of how many 30, 40, 50 creators to do all these videos and spend all this time and then dump the pictures. Give it a break.
Well, I think partly, Ellie, I'm just guessing, partly why they're doing it, even they know that if you're being honest in this case, and you're using some critical thinking, that it's so fast, but they're releasing it. I can only guess, Ellie, because again, I speculate that the message is getting out. I said over and over again, you were saying, Ellie, where's all the blood? Where are the leaked crime scene photos? I've said that probably 1,000 times, and you're right up there too, Ellie. because it was a great question asked. Where's mainstream media would get these leaked crime scene photos? But you know, one thing, again, you alluded to it earlier. The one thing they still haven't leaked, because it's too hard probably at this stage to do it, is leaked autopsy photos. And again, I'm not trying to be morbid because I don't believe the students are dead. But and even if they did, as Ellie says, let's keep in mind, if that ever happens, you better believe they have the makeup artist and they can do this, and that would be, in our view, probably just staging the violent event again. But they haven't done it yet. No leaked autopsy photos. And you're going to get it, folks, in a high-profile case like this. Almost every single time. OJ, same thing. OJ Simpson, right? They had autopsy photos. You got 4 victims with no leaked autopsy photos. No closed casket funeral for any of them. I always like to bring that up. Because if
they were all closed casket funerals.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. No open public casket ceremonies. That's right. I meant to say no open public casket ceremony. And they were all closed.
His family wouldn't even let anyone else go to it. It was just his immediate family, apparently.
Exactly. How convenient.
Why?
In our eyes. Yeah.
He must have had a lot of friends if he was such a great guy.
Great point.
All his friends to the funeral.
That's a great point, Al. I never thought of that. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up, man.
The whole point was no blood was talked about when they found Xana's body. Are you going to tell me they didn't talk about all the stab wounds and blood everywhere? Those pictures are fake as fuck. I'm telling you right now, that 911 call blows them right out of the water.
Yep, it does. That was all theater. And all these people.
The whole dump is bullshit.
Exactly. See, we're telling the
what they did before they picked those kids out to the island or wherever they went, Cuba, Costa Rica, wherever. And I hope they're having fun. Look, I don't mind. But what I mind is being lied to and being bamboozled by a bunch of idiots who couldn't even pull off a good scam anyway, because we figured this shit out pretty early.
That's right. That's exactly right. Now, Ellie, I hope this isn't censorship. The good news is I got 16 people. It doesn't sound like a lot, but this is my first ever live on this channel.
That's 11 more than I ever get.
I got 16 amazing people. I'm sure they're great people on my live. But there's only Phoenix Rising. And Phoenix, no offense. I appreciate all your comments. I'm glad you're here, Phoenix Rising. 214. But nobody else do I see on the live, Ellie. And
no, you know why? Because you have to connect to YouTube to do it. And some of them might not have YouTube accounts, right?
Oh.
So
no, I don't understand that.
It's only people basically with YouTube accounts or YouTube accounts that will be able to comment in here.
So a lot of my subscribers might not have YouTube accounts. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh.
Well, they just might not want to be on the
chat.
On the chat, right? But I mean, you could have people from Facebook watching here that don't have a YouTube account.
Good.
Or whatever.
Because the message that Ellie's putting forward, folks, and hopefully me too, is very, very important, and I believe it's the truth, and you guys can connect the dots and come up to your own conclusion. But I think we've made a great case that the students are in the WITSEC program, a real program.
They are.
Pardon?
I think they are, and I think this whole thing has been faked.
Yes, it has.
It's fake and gay. The whole thing is right from the start. Everything they did was all wrong and backwards. There's just no way.
Can you ask Phoenix this question, Ellie, without me asking? Ask her why the call was bullshit, but not everything. Why not everything, that last part?
Everything is bullshit. The whole case is bullshit. We've been saying that right from the start. We disagreed with all of it. But those 2 911 calls give it all away. They should never have released those.
Yeah. But
they just gave everything away. Again, so did that video from the body cam of the cops going in to clear the house.
Oh, yes. No blood on the banisters, you were saying.
No blood anywhere. No blood on the banisters. He went from front to back, side to side. There was no blood, no overturned furniture, no nothing. Now, the one of the 2 that was left alive saw the guy walking out. Why wouldn't he kill her?
Exactly. You would. You'd have
if he could kill 4 people so efficiently, why wouldn't he knife her throat and keep on walking? She saw him.
Exactly.
Well, his eyebrows. But still,
But now,
you
Ellie,
got big eyebrows. Fuck, you got big eyebrows. Maybe you did it.
but Ellie, but we forget, don't we? Or maybe we don't. But the narrative now is there's alternative perps. It wasn't just Brian Koberger. It was more than one people. Maybe it was 6 people in the house stabbing people. I'm guessing how many? 6 people. I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
What's that? That's people grasping at the money from their channels. That's all that is.
Well, Embry, Pavarotti, Pasatini, he's all about more than one assailant, apparently, you know.
Well, he always has been. Like he's been leading people everywhere. The only one 2, 3 that have been credible. That one lady who talked about those 3 kids in the park, she got an accent, but she's called something daycare or something like that. Anyway. Oh. And then there's Bubbles. Yes. Bubbly Waters.
Yeah.
And Birdie.
Yes.
Now, those are the 3 people I consider who have been credible on the fact that they're looking at evidence with a common sense view, and they're seeing this isn't right either. No matter what they believe out of it, they're seeing that it's not right. And they're seeing the same things that we're saying are not right.
That's right. And both of them, Ellie, Bubbly Waters and I know Birdie, as I said earlier, they at least talk about witness protection. Not witness protection like Pavarotti talks about potential, or for the parents and stuff like that. Or I don't even know if he does. But anyway, they talk about witness protection for possibly for the students. And Pavarotti has never said anything like that. That's why I want to be interviewed by this guy and ask him the hard question. What the hell? You're not asking about a potential.
You won't. You got to be able to beat him up first and do all this. Get 25.
Beat him up. Let me heal first. We'll have the boxing match. But I love, that Birdie brought up that Witzik angle, and I wish Birdie would interview me as well, Ellie, so we could get into the witness. Federal protection, a lot of things we've talked about, you and I, the extraction removal theory, anything he wants to talk about, but those would be important issues. And I would give credit to Birdie where credit's due. He discovered, again, North American Relocation Services on the movie boxes. Parent company ServHub. Pardon?
And then they disappeared.
They disappeared. And the U.S. Marshals, as Birdie so clearly showed, why are they moving boxes out? Again, usually it's the family, you hire a cleaning company. He lives in a small town. He's never seen U.S. Marshals moving so-called victims things out and the survivors. Have you?
Witness relocation.
Ah, yes. Exactly. North American Relocation Services.
There's too many companies that people are ignoring just to coddle on what they think is right. Right? Exactly. I understand where they're coming from. Like, you don't want to question everything, but you have to. Yes. We've never been told anything. Our whole timeline's a joke. So why would they tell the truth on something like this? This is they have to make people believe those kids are dead. And they got you believing it. If you believe it. So that's what they needed, and they got it. But I don't buy it. Jason doesn't buy it. And I know there's several other people on the circuit who are not buying it, but they're not saying anything because they need that money coming in. Yeah. They don't want to talk about it. But I know in their hearts, they do not believe the narrative. How could you? It's so fake.
Yeah, that's the tough part where I have some sympathy in one way, for the creators, because I don't want to get all self-righteous too, but that they know the truth, but we believe they want the money, and I understand they need some of this money, and so they're not willing to go that. I don't even think it's an extra mile. Just tell it like it is. Ask the hard questions.
He's totally right.
And the family's going to get millions and will be universal.
That's their money grab from the people paying for the files and videos. And the family's going to get millions. Of course, look how much Steve G already made. Not even trying. I was just running the circuit on TV shows, crying a few crocodile tears. And he pulls in a couple $100,000. Now, the strange thing, too, is this. Because a lot was known about Xana Canoodle's mother. Okay? Yes. Everywhere this woman went, people fucking croaked. Even right before this all happened, or was it right after this happened, she went into a church in another town in Idaho where she was doing rehab. Well, that priest got shot 5 times in the back right after she leaves. The priest who runs it, he lived, but he got shot 5 times in the back.
Wow.
It just, everything coincides with this girl's mother. Now, if by chance is what they're saying is true and she's a CI, why isn't she in hiding when her daughter got killed? Why wouldn't she think, oh my God, I'm next?
Exactly. Well,
Still living in the same fucking place.
yeah.
Still picking up drugs from the same drug dealers. And I don't know how when everyone knows she's a rat, but anyway.
Well,
so
I think
a
Ellie
lot of things that are people were not willing to put into the story because they didn't fit their narrative. Well, their narrative was wrong. What they believe is fake as fuck. And I think that if the 911 calls don't prove it, that dash cam footage from the cops shows it all.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Because I remember hearing, as soon as they walked in the door, Xana Canoodle was laying there and there's blood everywhere. Well, they didn't say that on the 911 call. And I didn't see any blood when the cops walked in there.
I didn't either.
Anywhere. In fact, they didn't show anything in the bedrooms on the cams, but when they cleared the house, there was no blood, no turned furniture, no damage, nothing.
Because they
It was
couldn't
just a
at that
party
time.
house.
Hold on, Ellie. As you know, because when they're going in with the body cam, just to remind the audience, you can't state that they didn't have time to stage it yet, folks.
Nope.
The crime scene that we believe that we're correct. So that's why Ellie's describing the lack of what we didn't see, the blood, you know?
There's theories other than this. That's what got you thinking. Well, a lot of other people did have theories. And I remember Jason mentioning, somebody had mentioned that something wasn't right. And I think that's what kicked it in for him, that he said. And then he came to me with it and said, oh, this isn't right. Like, I think this is all messed up, right? So
Yes, yeah.
right away, I okay. And then I looked into it and I'm like, you're right. This is all wrong. Right.
And what
then,
brings,
as things went, we found out more and more that was wrong about it. And now there's so much wrong about it, people still want to believe it's real.
yeah, they do.
Because they don't want to, or they don't want to lose the money, or they were too afraid to say, I got duped. Like you did.
Yes, thank you. Is this, how do I pronounce her name? Is that Kathy? I can't see
Kathy
correctly.
Skunk?
Kathy Skunk. Thank you for being here.
Or
Kathy
Skank.
Skank. This is not a Hollywood script. Steve G is still a script with 150 plot holes. Yeah. And in my opinion, I agree with Birdie. I will plagiarize Birdie right now again, Ellie, because I want to give him credit. He said, I believe he said this, that Steve G looks like a Fed and he acts like a Fed. He said that months ago, and I totally agree. And I totally agree. This guy is, I mean, come on. You're a father. Your daughter apparently had, if you believe this, her tongue apparently was perforated, I believe. Her face was pulverized. I mean, not to mention, and her face was pulverized apparently much more than even Maddie. We got to believe that all these wounds, terrible wounds of Kaylee. And you're the father, and you don't bawl your eyes out or at least cry some on interviews. Like, anyway, I can't comprehend it. But I will give credit to Steve G. Never has to be mad at me if he'll never probably watch my videos anyways, and that's fine. But if he did, I would give him credit, Ellie, because he had a wonderful relationship apparently with Kaylee. And you see videos of them firing, guns at the gun range. They seem to love one another. The wife, the mother, Christy G, Kaylee, same thing. Great relationship. So in that respect, I have empathy and I have good feelings towards the family. But we just don't have to buy, nor should we buy the lies, I believe, that they're told to put in this case. They're trying to sell you a script, a story, right? Because the feds are staging the violent event, even though they're already protected. They're fine. Like Bertie said, this is what these infrastructures are for. So we don't have to buy into the lies anymore, folks. What's that?
They have to make it believable. So they need people to believe it, and that they'll go out of their way to do it, like they just did with this fake photo dump. The third thing that bothers me the most, that girl that was left behind, what was her name again? Dale something or whatever? Dylan
Morrison, Bethany.
Yeah, okay. She saw the guy walking towards her and then walked the other way. Okay, A, he didn't kill her. But B, she didn't say, and he was covered in blood. Right. If he did all this damage to Xana and Kaylee and probably the other two, he'd be fucking covered in blood. And his DNA would be everywhere.
Yes.
It's called... Oh, never mind. People are... I've talked about all this before. I don't want to get into it again, but you leave epithelial cells everywhere you go.
Right.
And I don't care if it's from breathing, talking, coughing, or just walking. You will leave epithelial cells that dogs are used to track people with. There is impossible that he did all that damage and didn't leave any evidence anywhere except on a stupid sheath.
No.
Which could have got there any old how.
That's right. Yes.
So, you know, the stupid thing is, she said he came at her and turned away and walked away. I don't buy that, because he just killed 4 people. He's going to make sure that the only person that's seen him isn't living.
That's right.
2, she didn't mention anything about him being covered in blood.
No, she didn't. And
So,
if there were other perps, by the way, Ellie, they would still have a motive, you would think, too, to take out. They can't leave 2 survivors that can testify and all this.
well, another thing is, they showed a bloody handprint on the banister that wasn't there when the cops went in, and they didn't test it. So,
Wow.
A, why show it if it's not irrelevant and you're not testing it?
That's right.
Or B, why didn't you test it and find out how many other assailants there might have been? Like, the whole thing's faff, and people are just ignoring it to make the money.
Yeah. Well,
it's fake.
I guess
these kids are alive. I'll tell you this right now. In my heart, I believe, in my opinion, these kids are all alive.
Yes.
And these cops are desperate to make anyone and everyone believe it happened. And I get it. That's their job. But you know what my job is? To question shit and to question their job. Because everything they do is deception.
Yes,
it's all smoke and mirrors. The FBI is all deception.
It's a psyop, baby. Yep. Absolutely. It's I always said, I believe in my heart of hearts that the feds, right? And let's just say hypothetically the parents, if I'm right, their job is to sort of shape, as part of the psyop, to shape in public opinion and behavior, to influence, a target audience, in other words, the public, to influence their emotions, their value systems at times, belief systems, objective reasoning, and that's what we're seeing. And that's because nothing makes sense, hardly at all, from the parents. Christy G, though, remember, she publicly caught her. She said Maddie just bought a new house. And most creators
in the same interview, she said, we got to do this properly.
Oh, that was the same interview she said that?
That was the same interview. So that was before they started filming, but she was already on film, didn't know it.
Wow.
And she said, we got to do this one right. So look, it's just, they did. She said that Maddie just bought a house. Well, how does a dead girl just buy a house?
Exactly.
Talk to me. I want to know, because when I die, I got 3 daughters. I'd like to buy them a house. Please tell me. I want to know. So look, they can come up with all the dumps they want. They can come up with all the storylines they want. They've already fucked themselves. They already screwed this story up. And they can't repair the holes they put in this wall of lies, this wall of deception.
You're right.
I've not seen anyone check into the flight logs from the week before and after the job. Exactly.
Thank you, Christy, for that.
So, there's a lot of things that we didn't even think to look at, because we're just so busy saying, look, this is impossible, that we haven't even bothered to look further than that. But you know what? It is what it is. But there's these guys who are carrying their crap out in boxes that had North American relocation program on them. And then they got cacked the next day when the guy went to go looking for it again. Gone, cacked, offline.
It was either 2 or 3 days, or
it was a very short time after he went looking,
a week, but
and then found out. I guess he found out it was Serva. That was the parent.
Serva with the Schedule 48. And you told me, you said, well, they move cooling refrigerators and shit like that.
They move everything, right?
They do everything. And the Schedule
But
48 allows them to move government officials, people that are in danger, confidential informants, and
gold,
that's
silver, money, anything. They can move anything.
yeah. And then Bertie found out, I guess the U.S. Marshals, they're located in Fort Wayne or something, and North American Relocation Services, I think if I can recall correctly, they're near Fort Wayne, or the U.S. Marshals are near Fort Wayne. Yeah, and then I think the moving company was near there. So it's all connected, folks. It's
Well,
U.S. Marshals.
Serva's located everywhere. Like they have Canadian locations as well. So they obviously work with Canadian authorities as well. I mean, we do the same shit here that they do there.
Yes.
So I mean, I don't know. I can't understand how people aren't seeing this. They're either so gullible or so desperate for money that they're willing to lie to their people. I would never lie to you people. If I believe it, I would say I sincerely believe this. But I'm telling you, I sincerely don't believe it. And in my opinion, this has all been fact.
Thank you for that.
Fake as you know what.
Ellie, Phoenix Rising 214 says, Esty, what do you think of the screams? That sounded like a party to you? I would say yes, and I think if it wasn't a party, either way, they fudged a lot of the audio, and people have talked about that fudging, put it through a program. Ellie knows more about audio and how they could do that than I do, but I never believed, because I know they staged this violent event in my view, and in my opinion.
How do you know that audio is even from there? That could be from anywhere. You can throw audio in from anywhere. I could throw Bozo the Clown in right now laughing if I wanted to.
Thanks for the question, Phoenix.
But yeah, no, I mean, we got to ask the questions, right? And she's right. We can't have a closed mind, but I'm just asking all of these people that are watching and anyone who watches afterwards to look at things we're talking about here, because they're so obvious. They're right in your face. It's like standing in front of a brick wall and not seeing a brick. Come on.
Something, Ellie, I don't know if you find this interesting or not. They said they are all LDS. Scott Green, the Chapins, and the Gonzalez. Ethan is Jim Chapin's third-born son, not first. Ethan has 3 siblings.
So they're all, okay. They're all Latter-day Saints.
Interesting. Okay. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, that's a good angle. I mean, that would give them a good hiding spot for sure, because that can hide them with no problem.
And before I forget, Ellie, even though
okay, it was on an oddball from when it happened. It was released, and no one knew. Then spent the money to get the videos in the same. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you can add things in from anywhere. I mean, they were showing us videos. I mean, on Panzerotti or whatever his name is, and it was audio. I think from Bubbly Waters' show. And I see you Farley or whatever. Yeah. And all these different things. We don't know that those audios actually came from that building. That's just a picture of the building, a camera, a CCTV. Yeah. But you can put in audio from anywhere. I could grab audio from downtown Toronto and put it in there. So, I mean, we don't know, right?
And if they did that, they may have had a plan to, I'm just saying, have certain creators run with that I see you Farley. And he sure ran with that one.
Well, to run deceptions. They'll go to these ones that have the biggest amount of people, and they say, okay, we'll give you some money to say these things to give credibility to this case, because these people are going to fucking blow it, and these kids are going to get killed. For real. So they will. Oh, sure. I get to be a part of something bigger than myself. Mm-hmm. So they put out these fake as stories, and so we don't know where those audios came from. That's why I have real problems with audio from CCTVs. Unless I can see someone's face and see them saying it on their lips, I don't believe audio much. It's just it's used too often, and it's used nefariously and deceptively. And I don't like audio. I like video. I like to, and even video now I question, because there's so many who are doing these deep fakes, they call them, and they look real. Some of them look too real and they give themselves away, but some of them are just done amazingly, and it's hard to tell. It really is.
Sure.
I see you, Charlie. No, actually, it was Farley. They were saying the video said Farley.
Most people thought it was Charlie at the time, and then probably reviewed it apparently numerous times and realized she was the first one to realize it was Farley. Yeah.
And there was a guy named Farley who was with the
Aryan family.
Yeah, the Aryan gang or whatever. So,
but in the end, it doesn't mean that's not even close to the
it
whole
might
thing.
not have anything to do with the case.
No,
that could just be some audio that was picked up on.
That's right.
You could have heard some guy yelling at his dog, "I see you, Farley."
That's right.
We don't know, so we don't know if that's connected. But I can tell you, I was interested in everything that was coming out and assessing it and checking it out. But video with audio that has no physical properties for me to read lips and stuff, I have hard times with it.
Thank you for your insights there. Thank you for your insights and opinions there, Ellie. Appreciate it. Let's see if there's another comment here. See some, but it's hard to get them.
Ugly Waters from 3 years ago when this happened. No one did. Yeah, we actually, I have that episode.
Good.
I only came into this about 2 years ago, so it must have been out for a while before I got it. But yeah, no, I still have that very episode saved on our Idaho 4 files, and that was like something to definitely look at, but it didn't go anywhere. It was a dead end.
And by the way, Ellie, we could do a whole video talking almost about the U.S. Marshals and what they do, and there's a lot that we don't know even what they do. But one of the many things, as you may already know, apparently they organized with every county, I believe, across the country, jurisdictions, and again, to protect people. And they're involved in drug running, drug operations, folks, like to bust high-level drug gangbangers and cartel members. And that's what we saw play out. They fake, we believe, this unaliving, and it doesn't mean the students, did I say unaliving? I mean murders, folks. So many YouTubers say unaliving. Now I'm even getting caught up in the lingo.
Nancy Grace would bitch slap you for that one.
Yes, she would. But yeah, so they fake a quadruple homicide, murders, and I think they were successful. They protected who they needed to protect, we believe, right? Kaylee Gonzalez, most likely. I think she was probably a confidential informant. They protected Maddie. They're all in the same room anyway. And then, for whatever reason, the U.S. Marshals knew that Ethan and or Xana were in trouble, put in danger. They're in the same room, right? You extract them, and then you do the big bust in Washington State. Everything works out, but you got to use CIA through corporate media and lie to the public over and over again, even though a lot of it's faff and we can see through it now, Does that make sense? And U.S. Marshals, again, involved in drug running. So there were drugs, probably more than one or more students in that house. Would you agree, Ellie? Were most likely involved directly in helping the feds in one way or another with drug operations to bust some people, would you say? Or
well, when Kaylee and the other girl, her friend, the two girls were at
Maddie was the best friend.
What did you tell them? I told them everything.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like CI to me. We know Xana was probably CI because her mother's a CI. So there's two right there.
Yes, well said. I never thought of it like that. That's two right there. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Interesting. Wow.
But it still bothers me that those two people were left alive.
Yeah.
When he went through the trouble to kill 4 fucking people, why wouldn't he just go kill 6? Why would he leave witnesses? And then walk into court and eagerly plead guilty. Come on. Does no one see how fake this all is? I mean, the guy couldn't wait to plead.
That's right. He was so eager. But Ellie, why, going back to Dylan and Bethany that night, if they were in the house that night, we're supposed to believe they were. Let's say they were. Why do you think they apparently were not targeted? The feds didn't feel like they need to do an extraction.
Exactly.
They weren't confidential informants, I guess, right?
Well, no, they were just used as witnesses in the case. but I still don't understand how they were left alive when she saw him.
Well, no, let's just go with our theory. They staged a violent event. They extracted those 4 students. We're convinced of that, in our opinion. Why would they leave the feds, U.S. Marshals, those?
Because maybe those other 2 weren't under any heat from anybody.
That's what I'm thinking. They weren't confidential informants, in other words.
They don't know anything. They don't have any information that could sink anybody.
Gotcha.
So there was no need to extract them. If you're gonna extract someone, you've got to give them money and a place and everything for years and years and years. Sometimes the rest of their lives. You got to make it. It's got to be worth it. It can't just be, some random person getting thrown in with the deal. No, you've got to be a part of this. So if they're not CIs, maybe they didn't even know their roommates were CIs. I don't know. But
Dylan lured Kaylee there, Ellie. Sorry to interrupt. Phoenix says, I've heard this story many times that a lot of people think that Dylan potentially lured Kaylee there, and that maybe that's true. I don't know. Maybe it is. DD says, let me just get this on screen. This is an interesting comment, I think. SG's blood would be a biological match to both Kaylee and Maddie, ? Well, there's no, in our view, there's no blood.
Only his daughter. Only his own daughter. Because Maddie wasn't their family, right? She was just a friend of Kaylee.
Some people think that Maddie, there was a comment earlier, some people think Maddie was, I guess, biological bloodline to Steve G. But who knows?
Steve G had an illegitimate kid. Yeah, all their blood would match.
Oh, I see.
But I'm betting nobody's going to do the tests.
But again, yeah, Ellie and I want the audience, if you can, make up your own mind ultimately, but we're asking you, can you focus for a minute on the fact that the feds, we think, probably staged, I'll just say probably, I'm pretty convinced, but they staged a violent event. There were no victims. That means there is no blood of people being, with homicides. This is all great news. Nobody died that night. They were extracted. It was an actual operation, not the operation that Pavarotti tells you, where they got slaughtered by gangbangers, apparently. No, it was an operation by the U.S. Marshals. All the evidence points towards it, we believe. They extracted them under the cover of darkness. That's why you had North American Relocation Services and CERVA all connected to the U.S. Marshals. And the U.S. Marshals going in that house and moving the boxes out. Why would you do that? And then they traced dirt. Bertie pointed out that, right, that people are tracing dirt back in with their boots and stuff. It was a totally compromised so-called crime scene. They would never do that in a real crime scene. And you wouldn't leave blood on the foundation of the house day after day, man. You'd clean that up in, I'd have to ask a forensic scientist, but I'm guessing 24, 48 hours. That's why I get so excited, right?
Yeah. There was no blood on the outside of the house. That was paint. But someone here is saying that it was Kathy Skank that said Steve got Maddie's ashes. Why, if not bio? Why would he get Maddie's ashes? Why wouldn't her parents get them if there was ashes to get?
Right. Huh. Steve,
I don't believe
I think I can go up and put that comment on the screen if I can find it here. 1 sec.
It's right. It's right above that one you're at. No, above 2 above it.
This one? 1 sec.
It's Cappy Skank. Right below Phoenix Rising.
I see D. Oh, this one?
It says Steve. No, above it.
Above it. I'm going up. It's not allowing me to go up anymore. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got to scroll.
Oh, I'm new to this, folks. This is so exciting to have Ellie and all of you on the live chat for the first time on my channel. Let's see here. Well, here's another one. I got to this one. No, I meant to get another one here.
Okay, below that. Right below that one. Right below the one you just had. Go 2 down.
Is that it?
No, go down 2.
Okay.
1 more. There you go.
Thank you. Steve got Maddie's ashes. Why, if not bio?
No, why? Why would he get them unless she was his bio daughter, right?
All the ashes, again, in my opinion, it's total nonsense, folks. They weren't cremated. You don't have to worry. There were no violent deaths. The evidence doesn't show. Ellie and I'd be the first ones to tell you, researching the I-04 with all of you, if there was real concrete evidence to show that, you know, a violent event took place and you didn't have all these other discrepancies and lies, we would tell you and we would give our opinions on that. But it doesn't, the facts, right? The facts don't show that, folks, in our opinion, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's that say? Oh,
that was a Burger A&W flyer. I just thought I'd show it off. But no, I mean, like, yeah, you're right. I mean, everything about this is so, let's do the hokey pokey, you know, like it's just so hokey.
Well, so is Charlie Kirk, which we'll get into.
Oh, Kirk, yeah, that's insane. That whole thing's insane. Nobody buys into that. Nobody.
Thank God. Yeah,
but
God.
Get back to Idaho 4. You know, like I said, I feel bad that I ever laughed at you when I first heard about it because there's so much wrong with this case.
It's okay.
You'd have to be like deaf, dumb, and blind not to see everything.
I agree. I mean, especially 2 years in, then 3 years in, and then 4 years in. Don't get confused by some of these creators. Again, are great people overall. They want to make some money. We get it.
It's not 4 years. It's just over 3 because it was November, right?
Just over 3.
So in November of this year, where it'd be 4 years. So it's really only just over 3 years. And, you know, like no, I'm sorry. These pictures were dumped way too late. They should have been dumped when it friggin' mattered.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
They said the Upchurch was a loony about the Rooney case. True crap. They just call folks with discernment. They are on drugs. Yeah. I don't know.
You know, all these networks too, Ellie. Not to mention most of the creators, even though they do some great work on the Idaho 4, some great work. And then you got the networks that don't ask the hard questions and they'll just buy.
No, they gotta push the narrative. That's why they're networks, Jason. That's right. Media. And I told you, these people who claim to no longer be with the media and who come on YouTube to tell you the truth, they're full of shit. Sorry, they're full of shit.
I agree. And I'll pose it as a question legally, for legal purposes, that Joshua from Courtroom Confidential, we talked about it, you brought it up. Well, Jason, we know he was on networks before, and he's a defense lawyer. You got to ask, is he getting paid by,
of course he is.
By networks?
He's a misinformation specialist. They are out there in the community getting to know people so they can push bullshit. Because people will see them as credible if they like them, right?
That's right. That's your opinion. Say it, please. And that's my opinion as well. I agree with you. Can you say it's your opinion?
That's my opinion, that the media is full of shit. And that they push narratives for money. Well, these people who I believe are no longer a part of the network are part of the network.
Yes.
To feed misinformation into the communities of which stories they're pumping out.
Because it makes absolutely no physical sense that we know that a Brian Koberger could pull a hideous quadruple homicide, by the way.
He probably could. You know, I'm not saying the guy couldn't do it. I'm saying the guy didn't do it, in my opinion.
No, and he couldn't. You can't stab all these.
The fact that he was doing in school, he was studying forensics, he would know he couldn't leave a witness.
That's right. That's right.
Come on, folks. See what's there right in front of your face.
Yeah. And you're
brick wall.
Yet, again, as part of the fab, the fake in this, Ellie, as we know, one day I'm going to go over possibly the whole coroner report. And I might even go by a certain...
Where's the coroner's report?
Well, I wish
what is it, a little stick man with little arrows pointed at it? And
they didn't show where they just described the injuries. They didn't show where they are on the bodies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's not a proper done.
No, they didn't have it properly done.
No.
And you're right. And but all the wounds, like again, Kaylee they were saying, I think 34, 35 wounds. Again, face pulverized. Jennifer Coffindorfer's going by the K-bar knife, crushed the skull. I think Maddie was supposed to have a perforated tongue, if I recall correctly. One of them did, anyway, perforated tongue. The eyes, I mean, so many.
They said Xander Cadoodle had 76 stab wounds.
Oh, my God. 76. 36, Anna. Oh,
You know how much friggin' blood that would leave? There's no way those people can look at her and not go, she's dead. She's bled out. No, she's not answering. She's not responding. Nothing about blood.
nothing about that.
Yep, she had 74 stab wounds. This girl's telling us about a picture of her that they dumped. So you're telling me that they looked at this body of this same picture and didn't see any blood and just said she's not responding? Send an ambulance?
Bullshit.
It's just, you know what? It's just, I laugh now at anyone who tries telling me this is legitimate.
I'm glad.
I literally laugh at them.
You got it.
I can't even fathom them thinking that for real. How stupid this all was done. And how backwards. I mean, it's like a bunch of people with one tooth tried to put all this together.
That's right.
They duct tape it up.
Tape it up. Maddie looks like a twin of Autumn Gonzalez. Not sure who
Could
Autumn.
be. It could be. Hey, I can't say for sure. All I know is that they're not dead, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Can't be.
And like they're pushing, they're pimping, and doing everything they can to save the story that they ruined. The minute they released that footage of those cops going in, the minute they released any footage of those phone calls.
Yes. They had to release those phone calls, the footage. They had to do it, to their detriment.
That girl saying that she saw him walk right by her, walk at her, and then walk away from her and left her breathing. I'm sorry, no. That will not happen.
No way.
Because if I had just iced 4 people, I'm going to make sure no one in that house can talk about it.
Easy. Yeah, I know. You're just making
Well,
sense.
no, I'm just saying, if I was a crook who just sliced up 4 and killed 4 people, I'm not going to leave anyone alive who saw me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying if I was, right?
Yeah.
A killer.
All right.
I watch movies, man. I watch TV shows. I know how it's done. You don't leave witnesses unless you're stupid. Now, obviously, he was stupid because he ran right into court going, I did it. Guilty.
He was so eager, man. You could tell, and had a tan.
I know. It's like, no, why would you be pleading? Fuck, they have nothing. They got nothing. You know they got nothing. Oh, no, I'm guilty. I did it. Fuck you.
Because Ellie, as you know, the next step is either he's an informant, like you said.
Yes.
Or, in my view, it's almost the same thing. He's an actual Fed. And he's a plant, and he was used as a perfect distraction. They had to have somebody, as you know, because they're going to pull off an extraction. They even know that they may have to do an extraction at some point, right? At 1122 King Road, because of they got a confidential informant, maybe even 2, like you said, Maddie and Kaylee. You got to have all this possibly pre-planned in case something goes awry, as you said earlier, Ellie, right? And something obviously did go awry in our view, and they had to get them out. We saw it. No body bags, man. I could go a whole list. One of them I meant to say on this live, Ellie, and every live when we talk about Idaho 4 is, and I said on DA's show, on my channel and videos, and I think Once Upon a Crime Time with Tommy Jude, probably, hopefully, but the mattress, right? If it's a real crime and it's not a staging violent event, you don't load a mattress in like a hillbilly truck. Everybody laughed on the DA show when I said that because they know it's so outrageous. I see you half laughing too, Ellie. It's smiling. That's great. They load it. You've heard this 1,000 times. Half hanging out in a hillbilly truck. Part of it covered by, I believe, a mattress cover. And blood showing, folks. This doesn't happen in a real crime scene. There was no integrity, man. And they didn't treat it like a health hazard, in other words, as I've always said, either. Again, they didn't even wear masks half the time. Sometimes they did. They got crime scene tapes, so we're supposed to believe a crime took place. It's all staging in our view. So what? Crime scene
gloves.
That's right. Thank you for that. Exactly.
Yeah, so much blood in there they couldn't. Well, I mean, if those people really got stabbed so many times, all their stuff would have blood all over it.
Exactly. Sure would. Sure would. Now we're getting something closer to the truth, but it would be staged. If this is true, Phoenix Rising 214 says body bags are in the photo dump. Well, I can't wait to see it. And Ellie will hopefully I'll show it in a video eventually on my channel. Let's see if I can bring her comment up here. Because I've been looking, I've always said for 2 years now or more, where are the body bags, right? And anytime I get interviewed, that's what I'd like to say at times. Where's the body bags? So now maybe they're finally coming out and they're making up photos, because I think, you know, and in my view, it would be, again, more staging, right? Trying deception, as you say, Ellie, to finally bring out a photo of a body bag. Well, how easy would that be anyway, right? I mean, but I'd like to see it. We would like to see it. I can't see that comment. I'm trying to find it here. No, it's not there. Let's see this one. No.
Most important thing. Which flight logs? Are you talking about the Charlie case, or the flight logs in this case?
Yeah, I didn't know there were any flight logs in Idaho 4.
Well, I mean, if they're going to get them out of there, they'd probably fly them out. But I don't think they'd be using their names, and they'd be using a private FBI jet or whatever department,
That's
DHS
right.
or, you know, whoever.
Or we have transportation. I don't know if the feds do this in Idaho, Ellie, but
well, the marshals do.
okay.
The marshals do, and they have their own planes. So
no, but I was going to say even transportation underground.
Oh yeah, underground tunnels,
high-speed trains, you name it, folks. It's
Yep.
all there. This is your
It's all
U.S.
there.
taxpayers' money. Your U.S. taxpayers' money. And I guess it's a great thing, though. Goes towards this kind of infrastructure, folks. Real programs. Part of that is the Witness Security Program. U.S. Marshals do amazing work. Please don't think they're just lazy and they didn't have. We know they had surveillance around the house. Steve G admitted it, and we all know they had surveillance all over the neighborhoods and house. So they're not going to allow a Brian Koberger or gangbangers or cartel members to take out their own confidential informant in the house, right?
Not if they can avoid it.
No way. What's that?
Not if they can avoid it.
Not if they can avoid it, exactly. And they can avoid it. They can avoid it. Unmarked planes.
Yeah, probably would it be. They probably would be unmarked planes. Or they'd have a code for the marshals or whoever.
How do is this Minnie? Minnie 422, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yeah, Mimi.
Thank you, Mimi. A beautiful face you have.
Because
It says
mostly
happens outside by France. This is the game.
Linda Law 1:15 to 2 o'clock. Or is she doing a live or something?
Oh, are you doing a live, Mimi?
Frats.
Great comments here. Someone says, I feel Pav has a plan. There it is. I feel Pav is a plant. Ah, Mimi, I think you're onto something.
I think so.
Always said that in my view, personally.
Because he's never leaned away from that it happened. He's never looked at it. He says he looked at the whole Wicksec thing. You remember he gave you that video and you had to apologize or whatever. But that really wasn't saying, well, I think that, you know, this is very, very possibly. He just said, well, it could be something like this. And then he moved totally away from it and went into all these other, oh, no, it happened and they're all dead. And of course, he's collecting a fucking ton of money on his channel. Why wouldn't he? Look at all the subscribers he's got.
Yep. And Pav never connected, as Ellie, I think, is referring to.
If Pav was like you, he'd probably do anything he could to get known. So he would stand against it. Because common sense, well, hey, like I said, there's a lot more than just you and I who believe the same thing.
That's right. Thank God. Thank goodness. In my view, I won't say that he is a plant legally, but Mimi, I think you are. We have to ask those questions. Some of these creators.
I feel he is. In my opinion, I feel he probably is. Or an influencer. Even if he's not a plant, he's an influencer that they went to. Hey, you've got a lot of people on your channel. Yes. We can make you some serious money if you help pull this off and save these kids from being killed.
That makes sense.
Sure, I'll help.
That could be, yep. And by the way, when Pav did that Witsick video, I think you were referring to, Ellie, he never connected it. He doesn't want you apparently to focus on the students of being in a Witsick program. It was always for, it's for people like the parents possibly, or, gangbangers, I guess, right? That they're working with the government. But what about the students, Jay Embry and others? Many people have said, we believe a confidential informant was at 1122 King Road, most likely, working in some capacity with all the drugs going in and out of the frat houses, universities, right? So you're going to protect those confidential informants. Those U.S. Marshals are going to be recording their phone calls, guaranteed, doing commercial, passive surveillance that we mentioned earlier, Ellie. That type of surveillance as well. They're going to do hard surveillance. They're going to know already that Maddie told was Jack, as Ellie mentioned earlier, when Kaylee said, "What did you tell Adam?" Pardon me, Adam.
No. She said, "What did you tell them?"
Oh.
And the other one said, "I told them everything." She didn't mention a name that I remember. Oh. She mentioned them. What did you tell them? Oh, I told them everything.
You might be right, but I think she did say, "What did you tell Adam?"
I'd have to listen to that again. I didn't hear the name.
I'll have to review that again for one of us. Yeah, please. I'll let you do that.
Way, it's weird.
Very. And a reminder, folks, as a pre-planned extraction removal, Kaylee photobombed her mom the day before. Kaylee's mom, as part of being a CI. Does this show that she was a CI? I think Ellie would agree, yes, that they never gave her phone back, the feds. You don't give a phone back all this time? Back from the daughter that is supposed to be dead? I've never heard of such a thing. But if you're a CI, I guess sometimes the feds, you would hold on to things like that, all electronic.
Right? And give them another phone. Exactly. Right? Like, no, they can't let them have that phone because that thing's trackable. And anyone in the area and community who has connections in the police could track that phone.
Right. Makes sense. Totally. So I
totally got connections in the phone company. They could track that phone.
Got it. Understood. And my friends, I can't begin to. That's for the I can't begin to understand.
Can I answer this question first?
Yeah, sure.
She said the person said they made a big bust before the 4. So what's the result of faking this? The result is they want to take down the entire area and community, and I have that on video from what's his name again? That guy who wouldn't come on our show. Anyway, he did a video with the audits, the people who are doing the financial audits on the entire community. They want to take them all down at one time. So they made some drug busts in that gang. I know that the Aryan Brotherhood or whatever that's running in and out of prison, that's a prison gang. So they made arrests there, but they didn't arrest the Aryan community themselves. They want to take them all down at once. So yes, until that happens, and even after, these students are involved in any way, they have to be extracted.
Yes.
And because they all live in that community, I'm positive they're all know each other, right?
See, we don't live in Moscow, Idaho, so I can't begin to really understand, obviously, the big picture, what goes on in Moscow, Idaho. But we do know, Ellie, and I think it's fascinating on some levels of this case, as you know, we learn about a lot of the drug running that they talk even publicly, and that these drug busts that we saw publicly, right, which is wonderful. They arrest, some dangerous people and high-level gangbangers, some of them, and it's fascinating. Mimi says also big bus after Idaho 4. Don't forget, exactly, in Washington State. Yep. So it all worked out, and the U.S. Marshals protected those 4 students, my friend. Yep. They had to. That's why you don't see body bags. That's why you see a staged crime scene. That's why you see North American Relocation Services and their parent company again is serving with that Schedule 48 to move valuable assets of the government. Think CIs, folks, right? That's why they put a fake mat or a mattress, again, hanging out of a hillbilly truck. We could go into the death record index, all this stuff. We could go into behavioral scientists, and Bertie went into, possible theories of, he had a list of, they were checking the voice analysis of, I can't explain it, but I mean, there's the rabbit hole's deep, folks, and it all goes to show that probably these students likely were extracted. And this is great news because there's no evidence that there was a real crime other than crime scene tape. It can still be staged, folks, and that's what we're talking about. Everything points towards this was staged, especially when Ellie tells you over and over again, there was no blood mentioned on the 911 call. The 911 call is delayed 8 hours. Nobody can rationally, logically, I don't think, Ellie, explain. All the creators, they've tried to, but they don't be able to explain logically why a 911 call would be delayed 8 hours.
And why that the blood running down the outside of that wall was still bright red 13 hours later. Yes. Please explain that to me like I'm 5, because I don't get that. You know what happens to blood within an hour of it being exposed to the air. It congeals. It goes maroon colored, then it goes black.
Black,
goes dark colored. So there's no way that shit would still be bright red 13 hours later when the friggin' coroner gets there.
What does that mean? It was probably paint? Was it probably paint then, Ellie? Or?
Yeah, it was paint. Definitely. It wouldn't even be animal blood because it would have dried the same way.
Interesting. Okay.
It was paint. It was for effect.
Perfect. All effects.
He knew and cared more about themselves. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just saying everything we found out, even through that journalist guy, I can't even remember his name now.
Are you thinking of what's the one journalist? Oh, sorry, I just forgot myself.
I invited him.
Brian Enton? No, not Brian. Brian Enton? No, that's not it.
No. It's George something. George Webb.
Oh, okay.
George Webb.
Yes.
Yeah, I invited him to come on and talk to us about the Idaho 4 because he was kind of leaning the same way that this is all fucked. This is messed up, right?
Right.
But he I guess when he's seen our videos, he said, but yeah, that was right after your whole thing with Pavarotti or whatever.
Oh, shit.
Panzerotti. And so, because he's good friends with Panzerotti, right? He's been on his show and all that shit. So I figured Panzerotti probably told him, nah, don't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So the chicken shit wouldn't come on our show, but I know he feels the same way. He's been going down the same friggin' rabbit holes we have. Good. He's the one that exposed about Xana's mother and that priest getting shot and all, who runs the it's treatment center for addicts. Okay? And it's right after she left the center, he got shot 5 times in the back. He lived and everything, but still, I mean, like it's all connected back to this fucking Idaho 4. Everything. That's right. The mother of Steve G and his wife. It's all, you know what I mean? This is all.
Hey, Ellie, here's a jump. I can't read that name.
But Dylan and Hunter Johnson could have been faking in order not to be killed. They could be, or they could be a part of the network, or they might not even be involved at all. So no one sees them as a threat because they don't know anything.
Right.
And the point is this: if you're a killer, you've just slaughtered 4 people violently. You're covered in blood. Someone sees you. Are you going to walk by and leave them go?
No way.
Please tell me no. Videos.
Oh, here, I forget about this sometimes. Mimi says, all to protect college daughters.
And you talked about that earlier, about one of the reasons they destroyed the house and everything.
Yes.
If this all got proved wrong, it's going to hurt the university and their money flow.
I see.
There's no way that house would get destroyed before the trial or the plea.
No,
I don't care how bad they thought it was. Sitting there, they would have it taped off or sealed up with boards until after the trial or after the plea. Then they would tear it down, not 2 months before.
That's right.
They were getting rid of evidence because we were getting too many questions about things like that blood dripping down the wall. I bet you if you looked right when they were destroying the house, it was still there in bright red.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
It wasn't blood.
You know, some creators, Ellie, and I don't know if I can articulate, my short-term memory is not there today, but DA, we were talking about, of course, we talk about the cover up, right? And that's what sort of you and I are talking about. We haven't used that word yet, as far as I know. But DA and some of the guests were trying to say, well, maybe part of the cover up, they thought, but again, they're going by the premise that for some reason they still believe that the crime took place. And that's fine. But they believe that part of the cover up, covering it up, was because of a confidential informant that the U.S. Marshals, I think they were implying, would be so embarrassed that a confidential informant that they didn't protect the CI. And my answer would be, or rebuttal might be, well, wait a sec. CIs do die, unfortunately. They put themselves in that position. Either they're coerced by law enforcement, as Jay Embry has rightly pointed out. He does point that out correctly, that part, but that they can get coerced, we know, right, and put pressure on, as he describes. But CIs do die. And so, I don't think you can explain, if that doesn't explain the staging, no body bags, everything Ellie and I've gone over on this live, it doesn't explain all the staging, folks, that it was a staged violent event. And again, legally, the U.S. could do this, and it's all for good reason. U.S. Marshals did their job. These students are protected. They will always be protected because they got them out of there. They did CI through corporate media. They bought out influencers and did their thing, right? Putting misinformation, disinformation. But some of us are telling the truth, which is great. And we can always be proud that we're doing the best we can to tell powerful truth. And Ellie's done an awesome job at it. That's why I like to have her on the show from time to time. It's Idaho 4.
I was going to ask you, can you talk to Phoenix Rising to get that photo dump? She said she's got them all.
Okay.
I believe it was Phoenix Rising that said that.
Cool.
Yeah, I want to get that photo dump because that's just going to help prove our case.
Yes, it will.
What are you looking for, a mouse?
Yeah, I got mouses and rats in here. No,
squeak, 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 squeak.
A phone call was coming, but you know what? This is more important than a phone call from any, I was going to say family member. No, that's not true. But this is very important to get out what we see in the Idaho 4 and what doesn't make sense, what does make sense. And I think what makes sense is the U.S. Marshals, again, had surveillance. They had a CI most likely in the house. Ellie thinks maybe even 2. And I think she very well may be right based on that statement at the grub truck. What did you tell Adam, or what did you tell them? Ellie's going to double check that statement. But either way, that shows that most likely they both knew what the hell was going on. Their lives were in danger. The feds knew what was up, and they knew they had to go in. Again, under the cover of darkness, they're trained to do this. And then from there, they don't have time to put necessarily body bags and sheets over four people, right? And maybe there's college students that would even lift up a sheet. We don't know. So you don't see any of that. There's no body bags. Everything's fab, man. You would see body bags if there was a quadruple homicide, in my view,
Well, I just wanted to say,
sure.
If she was saying, I told Adam everything, or actually, what did you tell Adam? She would say, I told him everything. She wouldn't say, I told Adam everything. No. What did you tell them? I told them everything. And I'll guarantee you that's what was said.
All right. Interesting.
I'm going to get the video and just show. I'll do a video because I want to do a video with those the data dump from the pictures.
Cool.
To make a few points, and then I'll add that in there as well. I know it's them.
Now, this is an interesting theory, Ellie. I happen to see this theory was put out by a professional photographer, I believe videographer or photographer. He put out the theory on Pete from Murder Metal Mayhem that the stingrays, and other people have talked about a stingray operation quite possibly going on, that it can block 911 calls. Well, maybe, but either way, I think the 911 calls wouldn't have been delayed a full 8 hours. Somebody would be calling.
No, they were told not to call for 8 hours. I mean, there's no way no. After what she's seen the guy, no, she would have been calling the police right away. Terrified.
But they're trying to say the stingray, because of the technology, the stingray can block 911 calls. But
but they called 911, so that wasn't used.
Oh, I see. The 911 wouldn't
She
be
didn't
blocked by.
say, I've been trying to call 911 for 8 hours.
Oh yeah,
She just
did.
called 911 like she just discovered the bodies.
That answers your question, my friend. DD.
You're right.
No penalty answers
Do get used to block calls. They're basically a scrambler. It blocks any calls.
Oh, cool.
Right. So, I mean, they've got all kinds of technology we have no clue of. I have a clue. But
I have a clue when it comes to UFOs, but that's a whole other.
Because Dylan is involved, cannot with the murders. Yeah, very well could be. Like someone else had mentioned that they felt, I might have been you, that was it Maddie was lured there by Dylan?
A lot of people
think
that.
Was?
Kaylee, yeah, because
yeah. So.
But the last word we don't agree with, do we, Ellie? Murders. There were no murders in our view.
No.
That's all.
But I'm not. If people are saying it in a way of like, investigative way, at this point, there's no way anyone can believe anyone's dead. There's just no way.
That's right.
Not if they got any common sense, anyway.
No, any common sense.
Her and Quinn had those freaky masks on.
I remember that. Yeah, that's her boyfriend. They were seen in their vehicle with these freaky masks on. It was, I don't know if they were trying to be gangsters or criminals or what that was all about, but Kaylee was lured and attacked and rescued by the feds. Oh, I like this comment. Kaylee was lured and attacked, but rescued by feds. She may have been maybe attacked, but definitely rescued. Yeah, that's interesting. I hope she wasn't.
Blood?
Exactly.
That's my question. Where's the blood?
That's the big question, because there was no blood with the body.
Nothing that we seen on camera. They didn't show anything in the bedrooms. That got blurred, but anything anywhere else in the house, there was no blood.
See that, folks?
No, one person said the minute they walked in, they saw Xana on the floor. Okay. Where's all the blood from Xana's 74 stab wounds?
Well, the coroner report, I don't think said 74. Maybe it did. I know people were.
Well, that's the number I'm remembering from what I heard.
I wouldn't be surprised, actually.
I shouldn't be surprised. Got stabbed at all. Maybe they got,
I read
from
the coroner report from ex-FBI Jennifer Koppendorfer. I believe she went over like at least 34, 28 in the abdomen. I forget. I have it all written down.
That name is fake as fuck. Come on. Koppendorfer, give it a break. Fake.
Ellie, she's ex-FBI though, man.
I don't even think her real name's Jennifer. It's probably like Kathy something.
You might be right.
Catty Kathy or something. Like she's a plant.
I know, totally. It might be.
Why do you believe me? I was left behind. I definitely don't believe you now. You dipshit. Koppendorfer, give me a break.
I know the name, eh? Oh.
And
she had a thumbnail that said Brian Kohlberger's a savage, by the way. Attacked outside with brand
bag. Gun to the face. Face rash ER visit. Who was that? Is that Koppendorfer?
Esty, you suck. She's laughing. She's kidding.
Attacked outside with a break. Okay, I don't get that one. Because they don't say who.
No. We got 22,000 people or 22 people on the live today. Thank you, everyone. This has been a real hoot thus far. We'll wrap it up in a little bit.
Together, I think
Kaylee was attacked on steps.
Okay, where's all the blood? Because I watched those cops go up all the steps, and there was no blood, no bloody handprints on the railings, nothing. Where's all the blood?
I watched it too when Ellie showed me, and I concur. I didn't see any blood in those places, or any blood really.
Nor was Kaylee, nor was Xana laying on the floor inside the door. They were apparently in the bedrooms, and I was saying apparently because I don't know if they were still even in the house. I doubt it. That had probably already been done, and they were gone by that time. Like 13 hours later, 8 hours later, the cops show up. Well, yeah, right, and that blood's still bright red on the wall. Yeah. It's just so corny. It's I feel like it's a waste of my friggin' time trying to go over this shit with people who are just so obsessed with pushing this narrative of the cops. Paid, paid, paid.
Phoenix Rising's trying to figure it out. She's very intelligent, beautiful person, beautiful woman. She says some is Maddie and Kaylee mixed, and some on the staircase just was Kaylee's.
No,
No,
there was no blood. I looked. That's what I
no
was
blood,
watching
Phoenix.
for. When that cop went in the house, I was looking everywhere for everything. I slowed the video down,
Good.
packed it up, and I'm going to get it again. I went over that video with fine-tooth comb. Not a
Good.
drop of blood anywhere.
Wow. See?
But yet, 4 people were violently attacked and mutilated or stabbed or whatever. To me, someone getting multiple stab wounds in the face is mutilation, okay? So they were stabbed and mutilated, yet no blood anywhere. I'm sorry, no. And the only DNA is a little thumbprint. Not even a bloody thumbprint. It's just a thumbprint on a sheath found apparently underneath a body. The whole thing should be covered in blood.
Yes. Why do you think, Ellie, when if we're correct, which we believe they are, that they staged this violent event, okay, for good reasons, obviously to protect probably confidential informant and other students. Why didn't they have more blood on the knife sheath? They just didn't think about it at the time, or?
I think they just thought everybody would buy it if they were selling it. You ever hear the expression, build the house and they will come?
Yes.
Okay. That's what they did. They built this case around a crock of bullshit. They put a little bit of icing on it, a couple of candles, and everyone bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Well, except anyone who could think critically and look at the evidence of what was there, what was not there, and how it was presented. It was so amateur. I think grade 5s could do a better job of presenting a murder case than these losers did.
I agree.
And then 3 years later to come out with a dump of the pictures when it no longer matters. Those are just for us, okay? Those were just released to shut those of us up who have questions. Well, you're not going to shut me up with some stupid pictures that I know you could have faked before those kids were even extracted. And why did you block most of them?
That's right.
Why were they blocked? What's to hide? What's the big secret with these pictures? Why 3 years? Why not right away? It would have added credibility to the case.
Yeah, mainstream media would love to have shown those photos. They would have paid for them, man. They would have got the leaks. Come on.
Maybe even a fake autopsy done by somebody who knows what the hell an autopsy looks like. Right. Maybe they could bring Quincy back out of high retirement or something.
Maybe
the guy from CSI Miami could drop in, like Horatio, he could drop in and teach him how to do it. Yeah, there's a little stick man here, and all these arrows with little stab marks in there.
We're laughing, folks, because again, we believe wholeheartedly the evidence circumstantially points towards, again, a staged violent event, folks. And let's celebrate this theory if you agree with Ellie and I, because it's the most positive outcome, not a quadruple terrible.
Well, I don't let people falling. No, I don't want people believing us if that's not what they truly believe. I want them to look at what we're saying. Look at the evidence, how we're presenting it. Common sense. Okay? You can't knock down common sense. It's like cameras don't lie. Right. It's the same thing. Common sense doesn't lie. Common sense is always common sense. And when things are done in a non-common sense way, it stands out so much more. This whole thing was done so poorly that I was able to tear it apart in about 2 or 3 hours.
Yes, you did.
After finding out all that. And Jason, too. Jason got attacked. He got laughed at. He got ridiculed. He got shoved away because he believes what he believes. But what he believes is fact. I believe, in my opinion, Jason's right. This was an extraction.
By the way, again, if anybody wants to collaborate, I hope Ellie would like to come on. I don't think she wouldn't mind at all. if you guys, again, I'll give you an option, guys and gals, either one-on-one interview, or hopefully you wouldn't mind having Ellie on, because Ellie is amazing on this case, as you can tell, right? And she's got great information, great insights, great perspectives, gives you her opinion. She doesn't sugarcoat it, and she doesn't buy into the lies and the nonsense. So if you guys, I would love to get some interviews going on my channel or go on other people's channels. I've reached out. I just want to say real quickly, Ellie, just a couple names. I've reached out to Unfiltered Lucky. I believe, I'm pretty sure I left a comment. He hasn't responded. A.R. Hayes, you're more than welcome. I've reached out to you before, A.R. Hayes. You know who I am as well. I've reached out to Pete from Murder Metal Mayhem, Ellie, several times, and he hasn't responded to me. And he knows who I am because he read, DA read one of my comments.
Because you're going to hurt his channel analytics and you're going to hurt his money flow. Look, I'm just saying it this way. If there's any creators out there who can disassemble what we're saying and put us straight to prove that this happened, I'll gladly admit I was wrong. Okay, I've been wrong before. That time I got married, but you know that's here nor there now. Right. I now know how to look at things in a critical way. Okay, and I will not buy into bullshit. So if anyone can come in here and prove, or even just if you want to talk about your problems with the case or your support of the case, we're not here to attack anybody. It's called collaborating for a reason. That's how science is decided.
That's right.
You put a lot of opposing views on the table, and then you all talk about it and agree on something, or just agree to disagree and walk away. No one says you have to agree with us if you come on.
That's
no one says we have to agree with you if you come on. But if you can come on and smash our narrative, which is this did not happen, then please do. I welcome it. But don't sit there and think maybe putting a comment in or whatever, or doing a video running our theme down. You better have some pretty good reasons to do that if you do that.
That's right.
And I think that's why Panzerotti won't go near you, because you will destroy everything he's been saying for the last, 3 years?
Yeah.
He's made a killing off this case.
Sure has.
He doesn't want that to stop. So he won't go near you. That's why he made such impossible conditions. Not impossible, but I mean, he knew it would take you a long time. And before that ever happened, this case would be forgotten about. That's what he figured. Okay.
Yeah.
So he won't go near you. But I'm hoping other people who may either kind of think the same or don't think the same at all will come on and chat with us, or even Jason, or you can reach out to me at Sophia Rossetti on Facebook, or I'll give Jason my YouTube channel as well. I have a YouTube channel.
All right.
And reach out to me. I'll have you on my channel, on my Rumble, and then it'll be posted on YouTube as well. And any interviews Jason and I do, I post on my channel. I have a specific playlist.
Right.
This will go there too. And look, I welcome anyone to come in and discuss. But nobody will come and defend the case. The only ones coming forward are ones who kind of agree with us. Maybe not fully, but they're leaning our way, okay? Much like Birdie has for over a year that I've known. When he did that thing with the AI, that tells me he has a lot of doubts about what happened, okay?
Yeah.
Whether he'll say that on his channel or not, doesn't matter. He did to say it by doing that thing with the AI and then telling us what the AI said. And I'm surprised he didn't start laughing and go, geez, this is exactly what Jason said.
Yeah. Here's Phoenix Rising. I think she's razzing me. I think this is addressed to me. He doesn't have a ton of followers, because I don't yet, but I'm almost at 1,000, and I haven't done tons of videos, or I'd be way past 1,000 a long time ago. But anyway, he doesn't have a ton of followers. Pab Harsh Reality has over 6 figures. Well, I'd respond Phoenix Rising 214 and say, as I said to Pab in a message, well, he knows that I'll get a lot more subscribers naturally if I get on Birdie's show, especially, and or every show. Pardon?
You would destroy him, and he knows that.
Thank you. Did you hear that, Phoenix Rising 214? Ellie says I would destroy him. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I think so too.
I think Harsh Reality was the one that did that with the kids, right? The babies.
No, that was Outcast.
Outcast.
404. Yes.
I'd love to get that guy on.
Yeah, we might be able to because
He's funny.
he wants to interview me. So I'm sure I would be very surprised if he doesn't want to try to. The timing might be an issue, but we'll work it out. He would come on our show and. Pardon?
He seems like a really fun person. I think he would be a fun person to work with.
Yeah, I would love to hear him talk to you as well, and hopefully I get a chance to ask him some questions, especially if he comes on my channel. And this has been a blast having you on this channel for the first time, Ellie, and knowing the audience and the world when this video gets out on different platforms and all over YouTube as well and Rumble, that they're hearing what you have to say using reason, logic, common sense, critical thinking. And we add, again, as I said earlier, tantalizing speculation. We don't have all the answers necessarily. No. Nobody does. But we sure as hell have
neither one of us has stepped foot in Idaho, so we don't know anything for sure. We're just, like I say, I look at how it was presented, what they presented as evidence, what they didn't have as evidence, and the whole thing's faff. I'm sorry, it's just faff. Or it's gay and fake. Okay, it's gaff. So I just don't believe anything that they say.
Sorry, excuse me. Thanks, Phoenix, sweetie. She wasn't talking about me. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Now
I really do think that guy would be fun to have on.
Yeah,
so, try and see if even if he does get on with you, I think that would be a fun to watch.
For sure. By the way, Ellie, before I forget as well, I'm not going to try not to talk or trash these people.
No.
If I sound like that, I apologize. But Jay
I
Embry,
trashed Paz because of what he did to you.
That's right.
That's the only reason.
Jay Embry, Pazatini, as Ellie calls him, whatever. He is doing. I've challenged him or asked him, dude, why aren't you doing interviews? Hundreds and hundreds of videos. Never does interviews. Finally does. I guess he's doing one a month or something with. I want to bring her up. What's her name? Lana from Truth and Transparency. She does amazing research at times. Amazing. But where Ellie and I think Ellie would agree because we have the same theory, where she gets it wrong, respectfully, Lana, is, Lana, this was a staged crime scene. I think it was a staged violent event. I wish you would at least look at it or talk to somebody like Ellie or I that's willing to entertain that as a real possibility in this case, because it's the only thing really that when you look at it only makes sense. The evidence is there for an extraction, I believe. Staged violent event, as Ellie has got, and I have gone over today. So, Lana, love to interview you or be on your channel. Let's talk about it. Be very careful with a guy like Jay Embry. All I'm saying, Lana. Does that make sense, Ellie?
Yeah. Hey, we'll bring our facts and our proof. You bring your facts and your proof. And let's
That's it. Exactly. I should have said it like that.
Right?
Oh, here's one. Meaning Pav and Harsh. And I was saying Harsh has a lot of viewers, but Pav doesn't. Well, Harsh is on a whole other.
Quite a few viewers. He's got more than me or Jason, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, she's comparing him to Harsh because Harsh is like.
Oh no,
Harsh is like.
You've got over 10,000 viewers. You've got a lot of viewers. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
So these guys aren't fucking, and these guys are monetized on their channels. They're making money. They don't want to upset that flow of money because some of these guys depend on it because they don't do shit in life. They don't have any talent. And their only way is to be a talentless hack on YouTube, right?
Well said. Well said. DD says, yes, 100% Witzik.
Yep.
DD, if you ever want to do a video too or interview DD, if you do those, I don't know if you do. It sounds like you'd be a great person to have some banter with. We'd be on the same page anyways on the Witzik angle. DD, I'm glad you're seeing. How long have you been agreeing that it's 100% Witzik, DD? Just curious there. And what country are all of you from? I know where Phoenix is. Where are the rest of you? What countries? You want to tell us? You don't have to. Just trying to, some YouTube creators I noticed they'll ask what country you're from, and it's all good. Do we have anybody from Iran, China, Russia? Probably not, but that's. USA, that's right. Phoenix Rising, USA. I think we've said enough almost on this
I don't think
live.
there's much more we can really say unless you want to do your interactions. I got to go anyway. I need a cigarette.
Okay, yeah, by all means, man.
My sister's probably dying if I can be able to talk or listen to her phone or something.
Oh, well, thank you very much for your time, your patience, Ellie, today.
Thanks
Your
for coming.
positive, amazing contribution. It's my pleasure. You're very welcome. Let's do it again sometime.
Yep.
And
we
we
will.
want to collaborate with others, other YouTube creators, or
Definitely. I think it'd be healthy, even if they disagree with us, even if they fully support the narrative, it would be healthy to talk about it and talk about our differences and why we do and don't. Instead of just doing videos back and forth. That's really negative energy spent. Get together. We're not evil. I know I wear the bad spy hat. He wears the good one, but you know what? Like, we're just people. We think the way we think, and you think the way you think. Let's get our minds together and see if we can at least come to some conclusions, whether we ever agree or not, to come to some conclusions about facts.
Yes.
About lack of facts. Okay? So that's all I'm asking. Like I said, anyone here can reach out to me. I've got a YouTube channel, I've got a Rumble channel, and I'm on Facebook. Sophia Rossetti. And
awesome.
Talk to Jason. Jason will probably love to have you on his show, do some interviews, and look, let's put stuff on the table. Let's talk. I missed yours.
Thank you, Phoenix Rising. Appreciate it. Very kind comments. Thank you. I miss yours too. Have a great day. Okay. Have a beautiful evening or afternoon wherever you are. Ellie, you of course have a super day as well. Thank you again for being here, and we'll talk other cases as well, but the Idaho 4, there's nothing quite like it.
There you go. Have a great one.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, I don't know how to...
You're still live. You have to go up to the top right-hand corner and click the button.
Top right-hand corner and click.
It says end stream.
Oh, end stream, yes. I thought I could just say goodbye to my audience by myself. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, then you go down to my picture and you put your cursor over it and then click to get rid of me.
Oh, okay. I'll get rid of you. No, blast. Thank you. Bye, Ellie.